It's time for the excitement of West Virginia high school basketball, featuring the Martinsburg Bulldogs.
You got to give more, dog. You got to protect more. You got to help more. You got to sacrifice more in order to get this win.
Today's high school basketball broadcast is being brought to you by
Miller Honda of Winchester, MyMillerHonda.com, the Marius Group at Ameriprise Financial of Martinsburg, Parsons Ford, Smallwood and Small Insurance, your one-stop shop for all your personal and business insurance needs. Miller Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. The Berkeley County Health Department, Luttrell LC Real Estate Attorney, W. Harley Miller Systems, custom solutions for the home and office, and Carpet World, CarpetWorldofMartinsburg.com.
And now, let's go courtside and join our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team with today's pregame show.
That was close. I see Rick got all the rhythm in the family. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome into Stafford High School. We're in Fredericksburg, Virginia, where tonight it is the opening tip to this 2019-2020 high school boys basketball season as the Martinsburg Bulldogs will take on the Stafford Indians. For Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10 Sports, I'm Matt Miller along with Matt Crawford. Thanks to John Alderton running our TV 10 camera here today. Back at the studio, Eric Sterick and Alec Epperson are our engineers and producers. Well, Matt, high school boys basketball finally here, and for the Martinsburg Bulldogs, looking forward to trying to build on what was an incredible season last year, going all the way to that state final.
Yeah, going all the way to the state final and then not picking up their first loss until that state championship game. So you're going to have a loss in a year. That's not one where you want to fall, but unfortunately that is the first loss for a very good basketball team last year and a good nucleus coming back for this Martinsburg basketball team. We'll get into that a little bit later, looking at the roster for this year's Bulldog squad, or at least partially what this roster looks like. Again, not everybody will be active tonight. Everybody will be active coming up on Saturday due to the football season just ending a few days ago. So names like Teddy Marshall and Gerard Bowie not on the floor tonight, but they will be in action on Saturday. But it should be a good test against Stafford coming up tonight. Stafford team is coming in off of an 18-7 campaign last year.
Yeah, a season in which they made it to their Region 5D quarterfinals here in Virginia, falling to their arch rival in north of Stafford in that one. But they do have some key returning players who will be a part of this one here tonight and this upcoming season for the Indians. As you mentioned, Martinsburg with a nice nucleus returning from a team that went 27-1 last year. Well, the two teams just taking to the floor, getting in their warm-ups as the JV game wrapped up just moments ago. A tough start for the Martinsburg JV boys, down by 3 at the half, 13-10. They suffer a loss by a 50-38 final. We'll see if they can bounce back next time out. I don't believe they'll be playing on Saturday, as it is part of a kind of showcase day of basketball up at Handley High School when the Martinsburg varsity will take on Osborne.
And just talking about the JV squad, with the varsity, the first game, you're going to have jitters. You're going to have guys making that leap from JV to varsity. But you look at a JV basketball program, I'd have to look at the exact roster for Martinsburg, but you're going to have some freshmen in there that are good enough to be on that JV as a freshman, so it's their first taste of high school basketball, and you still have a lot of raw talent at that JV level. By the time you get to varsity, you're expected to have a little bit of growing pains, especially when you look at this roster that has a couple of sophomores on it for this Bulldog team, 4 looking down at that Dog roster right now, but you're expected to kind of get into a rhythm a little bit quicker. So that JV game, the first couple of games, I think you can toss. I think it's more how you adjust to those and finish down the stretch.
Well, as you can see if you're watching on TV 10 or our WRNR TV YouTube page, the teams on the floor getting in their warm-ups, and we are just about, I would say 18 to 20 minutes away from the opening tip with our varsity action. But we need to take a break on our pregame show. It's brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services from home and office automation, home theater networking, audio video distribution, and more. Phone them at 304-350-1931 or visit WHMSystems.com. On the other side, we'll see what else is going on around the Eastern Panhandle Athletic Conference. It's our check of the area schedule. First, we will take this 60-second break. This is West Virginia High School boys basketball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
boost. I'm redlining on my, why is it low in your headset?
Let's talk trash, because when it comes to trash, you have options. Panhandle Dumpsters is a local family-owned garbage hauling company serving both residential and commercial customers with weekly trash pickup, dumpster service, yard waste pickup, and bulk pickups too. Panhandle Dumpsters will give you a free trash can and provide curbside service for just $23 a month. Panhandle Dumpsters features a fleet of quieter, eco-friendly garbage trucks, thereby reducing the noise usually associated with pickup. Switch now and save up to 30%. Call 833-DUMP-STR, panhandledumpsters.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
You have both teams now coming in that are going to make still those first game mistakes, so you're coming with a completely even slate this year for both teams.
All right, let's get into our check of the area schedule. We'll start with boys basketball, where there was one other game today. Have not seen a final, I will admit. Have not had a chance to look it up once we have arrived here to Fredericksburg, but we understand that Hedgesville going back to the old tradition of trying to be the first team on the floor and then the last team off the floor at the end of a season, as head coach Kelly Church and the Eagles had Silver Oak Academy on their schedule. That was at 1 o'clock this afternoon. They will then take 3 days off before they would host Broad Fording Christian Academy going into the weekend on Friday, and then Idea is the next school on Saturday.
Your wish is my command. A 1 o'clock tip today from out at Hedgesville, and it was all Eagles over Silver Oak Academy, 65-25.
There you go. So Hedgesville getting off to a 1-0 start to the season. Let's turn to the Musselman Applemen, as they are not scheduled to open their season until this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Home games against Parkersburg and Lewis County. Meanwhile, Jefferson opening their schedule tomorrow on the road at Sharando before taking part at the tournament out at Hedgesville over the weekend. I do not have a schedule yet for either Washington or for Spring Mills, but those teams will be getting their seasons underway this week as well. And Matt, earlier we kind of looked at the rosters from last year and, saw the guys that are coming back, and we're looking for a pretty competitive EPAC this year.
Yeah, it should be. I think the only teams that you are looking at with true question marks, and I think Washington is one of those teams that is going to have a question mark just because you have some returning guys, but how much do you really bring back a valuable game experience from last year? But still returning a good group of guys from last year. It's just a matter of how much those guys actually got some time on the floor. And for Spring Mills, you lose a prolific scorer in Darius Bush, who really was, as he went, the Cardinals went last year. And you're coming in with a new head coach. You're coming in losing several seniors. So I think this is going to be truly a rebuild or transition year for the Spring Mills Cardinals, but it's high school. You never know. You could have those couple of guys that you weren't expecting make that jump, or have good summers where they got bigger, they got stronger, they got taller, and that's the great thing about high school basketball is you just never know if you're going to have those guys that hit those growth spurts and become players that you were not expecting or wouldn't have expected to that previous season. But looking at Musselman, looking at Hedgesville, looking at Jefferson, a good core and nucleus, as you said, of guys coming back, and it should be another competitive year in the Eastern Panhandle for AAA basketball.
Let's turn our attention to the girls' side, as Hedgesville opened their season yesterday, scoring a 48-44 victory against Clark County. They'll next be in action 2 days from now at Kaiser. Jefferson opening their season, getting a win over Magnolia before a loss against Cabell Midland. That was over the weekend. Jefferson was supposed to host Millbrook last night. Have not found a score on that game. Musselman, meanwhile, they lost in their opener against Cabell Midland. Did not find a score on their matchup against Magnolia, as those games were over the weekend on Friday and Saturday. Musselman and Hampshire were scheduled to play last night again. No score reported in that one. Spring Mills girls off to an 0-2 start. They suffered losses on the road in a season-opening tournament. They fell to St. Joseph Central 95-59, and then to Frankfurt 66-39. Next up for Spring Mills girls, they'll be hosting Buchanan Upshur on Saturday. Martinsburg suffering a loss against St. Maria Goretti in their only game so far, and we have not gotten a schedule yet from Washington.
Were you a little surprised at the score of that Martinsburg-Goretti game? I know Goretti's one of those teams, being a private school, you just don't know what you're going to have, and it's really probably about a 2-year rotation with them, with the junior and senior class rotating as they go out. But Martinsburg, a team that it really had a roller coaster year last year, both on and off the court. The bus crash that happened in the heart of their season caused them to postpone and or cancel a couple of games, but then made a good run in the playoffs. So this is a team that you expect to be competitive again this year under head coach Kyle Triggs.
Lost some key experience, though, from last year, and the beginning of this season especially could very much be a learning curve. Well, that is our check of the area schedule. Stay with us. On the other side of this break, we'll hear from Martinsburg head coach Dave Rogers. First, a 60-second timeout, and then back with more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's West Virginia High School boys basketball on Talk Radio, WRNR and TV 10.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I am beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We welcome you back into the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. We are at Stafford High School in Fredericksburg, Virginia, where the Indians entertain the Martinsburg Bulldogs in this high school boys basketball season opener. Earlier, we had a chance to catch up with head coach Dave Rogers and ask him first about getting this season started, but not able to be at full strength.
Well, it's different. I mean, we've got 4 sophomores with us, and one of them starting tonight. So, although it gives them an opportunity, when you're missing probably 3/5 of your starting core, it's really tough, and it's tough that you don't have them with you, and it's tough that they get that little bit of practice. But you know what? It is what it is, and we go through it every year, and so we'll be ready. It's a pretty good challenge on the road, and then we'll have a very full strength Saturday night.
At the same time, is it kind of good to see some of these young players right now and get maybe a feel for what you do have depth-wise?
Oh, I think it is. What I said a minute ago, it's going to give them experience. Mm-hmm. It's going to give them an opportunity to play. You will see at one time or another 4 sophomores we will play tonight, and only 2 seniors. So it's going to be a good night, but this will be a big test for us because Stafford's pretty good and we're on the road, and let's just see how. I'm really anxious to see how we do.
You mentioned the youth. You don't have a lot of size either. You put those 2 together. How is it you want to approach this season, game in and game out? What do you want to see from your team?
Well, other than Joe was 6'6", so we're missing that part. But, Trey didn't start last year either. And Trey's such a quick jumper. He can score. Yeah. And so I think we're going to be okay. I mean, there's not many we're just not blessed with a big bunch of size, but I'm going to tell you what we have, I think, is quality.
Talk to us about Stafford. How much do you know about this program and this team you're going to face in the opener?
Well, Stafford's got a couple of nice players. They've got a guard about 6'4", can light them up. They've got another guard, lefty, basically getting their scoring out of their guard. They got a big boy in the middle. I say big boy, kind of a wide body. Run a 4-round-1 offense, so they're going to dribble, drive, and dish or try to post him up. So, we have to be wary. We just have to play good, fundamental, sound defense. Protect that basketball. Don't turn that thing over on the other end. I mean, turnovers, and I don't care what sport it is, will kill you.
Well, Dave, we wish you well in the game. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. Head coach Dave Rogers, some of his thoughts heading into this season opener on the road here against the Stafford Indians. Well, we need to take one more break here on our W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. On the other side, a little deeper look at both of these teams, and we'll turn to Matt Crawford and check in on our keys to the game as we come back on the pregame show. It's Martinsburg High School boys basketball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back and forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
Tonight's season opener, the Martinsburg Bulldogs against the Stafford Indians. Matt, a little deeper look at both of these teams and our keys to the game, brought to you by Chris Luttrell at Luttrell LC. Let Chris hand you the keys to your new home for all of your real estate legal needs. Give Chris Luttrell a call at 304-267-3050. Well, let's start with Stafford. Got a chance to talk a little bit earlier and make sure of the lineups and so forth with their first-year head coach, William Richardson. He's not new to the program. He's been a JV coach for the last 6 years, but certainly will bring some discipline to this group. He is a 26-year Marine Corps veteran before wrapping up his Marine career, and now in the education field and the coaching field. And talking with him, this will be a little bit different for this squad this year, as this year they want to run the basketball. They want to be like Martinsburg and get up and down the floor. He said last year, under their prior head coach, Brett Lively, who was here for 3 seasons, they were a little more of a half-court team.
Well, when you mentioned the discipline and wanting to run a tight ship, being a 26-year Marine Corps veteran, we've seen that already on the roster we were given. There's somebody that is not on the roster that was on the beginning of the season roster right after cuts were made that apparently, from what you heard, just didn't follow rules, and it wasn't a lenient process. It was, hey, you don't want to play by the rules, you're not going to be here. But right now, looking at the size, we don't have the official height for anybody on staff or just names, numbers, and grades, but they have the size advantage. So while they are going to want to get up and down the floor in Martinsburg, is going to get up and down the floor very, very quickly. They do each and every year. I wonder if Stafford at some point will change up the approach a little bit and try to use that size down low. In the starting 5, Trey Sager going to be your big man. And right now, he's a forward, not really a center. I don't know if there is a true center on the team for Martinsburg this year, but he is 6'3", so not a whole lot of height this year, missing guys like Joe Bouquet and like Cedric Bush from last year.
Certainly, though, when you look at the inside presence in the starting lineup, it'll be Austin Reed at 6'2". He's kind of a wide body, a physical type of player, and they're going to need his presence in there in this one.
Yeah, and see if we see any from Jess Sutherland, who's 6'4", is listed as the only center on this team, but just a sophomore. When you you have younger guys that are your big men, they're the ones that tend to get in that early foul trouble. So it'll be interesting to see if we see him today. Talking with Coach Rogers for Miller time earlier, not in the pregame interview, but he said it wouldn't be surprised if they used almost everybody in this lineup today, or on this roster today, just because they're short of players due to football players not being ready to go with practice numbers.
Yeah, some key guys gone from last year from the 27-1 team. Qualik Bush, who is on to play college basketball. We heard from Coach Rogers earlier. Grant Harmon, who is off to college but not participating on the collegiate level athletically. Joe Bouquet, who is playing some college ball. I knew there'd be a college coach out there would look at his raw talent and his build and, give him that opportunity. And Cedric Bush, who really had a solid year last year as well. But just 4 seniors gone. They've got a number of returning players and a real good nucleus. So with that in mind, what are you looking at? Keys to the game for both of these teams.
I think right now, use the younger guys, I don't want to say sparingly, but even a junior like Garrett Stobbs, who saw some time last year and is going to be in the starting lineup as a junior. I think the number one thing I'm looking for Martinsburg is to use those seniors like the senior Telrin Villa in the starting lineup today. He's got to be an on-court leader. He has got to be able to guide this younger group that's going to start today. Obviously, with Teddy Marshall and Gerard Bowie coming back on Saturday, they can help with that. But right now, it's going to be up to Telrin Villa to be able to control this fast-paced offense that Martinsburg's going to want to run. So I think the key to the game for Martinsburg is just going to be simply control the basketball and play at the tempo you're comfortable with.
Well, and you mentioned those guys that won't play today. Look down at that Martinsburg bench right now, and you're looking at only 8 players who are dressed for today's game. All right, there you go. Keys to the game brought to you by Chris Luttrell at Luttrell LC. Let Chris handle all of your real estate legal needs. Phone 304-267-3050. Time now for a look at our starting lineups. They are being brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist. If your vehicle is not starting properly, start at D&N to get it fixed right the first time. They're family owned and operated since 1974. Give them a call at 304-267-4078. Let's begin with the visiting Martinsburg Bulldogs. In the starting lineup is 5'9" sophomore guard Kamarian Dow. He'll be joined by Trey Seger, who is a 6'3" junior forward. Telrin Villa is a 6'3" senior forward. Garrett Stobbs, a 6'1" junior forward/guard. Really impressed with his three-point shooting last year.
Yeah, absolutely. He could shoot the daylights out of the basketball. So a lot of them in JV, but when he got his opportunity at the varsity level, he took advantage of it.
And then Austin Reed, the 6'2" senior, will get the start tonight at forward. Now for the Stafford Indians getting the start tonight. Don't have positions, but in that starting lineup, Amari Moorer, he is a sophomore and the lone youngster in the lineup, as the remaining 4 starters are all seniors. That will include Adrian Penn, Donovan Arneson, Tyshawn Ellis, and Jacob Dunover. Keep an eye on Dunover. Talking with Coach Richardson, he said he is probably our best shooter.
Yeah, and Dunover, a guy that even Coach Rogers mentioned earlier in the day with us, so should be interesting. Even looking at the guard position, just the pure size difference of this roster. So again, should be interesting with the size and whether the fast-paced offense combined with the size is something Stafford can utilize.
There it is. The lineup's brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist. A 2-minute timeout as we pause for the anthem here. We're back with the opening tip and play-by-play on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10. Sorry to keep coughing in your ear, John.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back and forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
Carpet World is more than just carpet. Carpet World specializes in a complete selection of hardwood floors by respected names like Armstrong, Bruce, Shaw, and Mohawk, and tile by Dowell Tile, American Oleum, and Mannington for all rooms in your home. And Carpet World can update your bathroom shower with very attractive ceramic tile walls and floor. Financing with up to 12 months deferred interest is available, along with experienced quality installation at Carpet World, 2330 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. CarpetWorldOfMartinsburg.com.
Just about ready to get this one underway. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. John Alderton running our TV10 camera. Eric Sterick, Alec Epperson back at the studio. As I continue to struggle with a cold in my voice, I'll turn the play-by-play over to Matt.
Martinsburg controls the tip, and at the top of or just inside the midcourt line right now is a Kamarian Dow, tightly guarded, a man-to-man defense to start. A little bit of a trap right now for Stafford. Again, some quick ball movement back to Dow. Tries to check that right foot. Now moving to his left. Now Martinsburg spreading the floor, working it to Sager on that left side. Yeah, too strong off the back of the iron. Still a tip ball, and coming down with it momentarily was Martinsburg. Then the offensive rebound by Austin Reed. Another three from this left wing, and that was too short. That one coming off of the right arm of Garrett Stobbs, going out of bounds. And it looks like the ball will stay with the Bulldogs. So right now, like the offensive pressure and the attack on the offensive glass, Matt.
Yeah, Telrin Villa missing an open shot, and Garrett Stobbs missing one as well.
This from the left corner, 3 misses, but another offensive rebound. That's Villa. Villa going to the deck, and we will get another foul. We get the first foul of the game down low on Stafford. It'll be an inbound from the baseline for the Dogs, and right now, 45 seconds in, and Stafford hadn't touched the basketball yet, Matt.
Well, and there is foul number 1 on Nicholas Belko. And Martinsburg, we mentioned in the pregame, hey, they're not all that big. They are rebounding very well.
Floater by Reed, no good. The putback up and in, that basket good for Telrin Villa. His first points and the first points of the year for the Martinsburg Bulldogs, 2-0 as we near that 7-minute mark in the first quarter.
Yeah, nobody boxed out on that backside.
Good help defense and a steal, but stepping on the line was Kamarian Dow. It'll stay with Stafford. It was good help defense as up top was Trey Sager. He got caught in a little bit of a high ball screen, but a good job by Dow being down low as a guard, playing that low defense on number 12. That was Arson. In this left corner, that was Penn with it, and now he picks up his dribble, finds a guard at the top of the key.
Now Martinsburg running that traditional man-to-man. That's what they like to do.
Movement along the top of the key. Haven't tried to go inside too much yet for Stafford. Loose ball, and we're going to get a foul. Driving with his left hand was Donovan Arneson, and he gets tripped up. Be a foul on the Dogs inbound from the baseline to our left.
Yeah, tough foul on Trey Sager, going to pick up his first personal.
Inbound does go to the big man that was number 44, Belko. A 3-ball from the right wing. Looked like it was deflected a little bit too strong. Good defense by Austin Reed. Now back the other way is Dow with it. He's in the front court. Deflected, hitting the backboard. And now Reed coming back down with it. Good pass in the lane. Bobbled a little bit. And we're going to get a 3-second call on the Dogs. Stafford basketball.
That's a tough call. I guess it was on Sager underneath, as Villa couldn't handle it cleanly. If he gets that shot up initially, you don't end up with that turnover.
Penn had it momentarily. Now hands it to Waco. A good stutter step on this left side and blocked. It looked like momentary a little bit by Reed. Going up strong with it was Jacob Dunover. Now good pass down low. Going up strong, and a foul called down low. That foul going to go on number 32. That is Amari Moorer, and going to the line for the first time this year is Trey Sager.
I've got a 6-0 rebounding edge right now for Martinsburg, as they're doing it on both ends of the floor, and that time able to get it down quickly to Trey Sager. He draws contact, and we'll get 2 free throws.
First foul shot up and good for Sager. Martinsburg extends the lead out to 3-0. As we are just under 6 minutes remaining here in quarter number 1. Sager takes a couple of dribbles. That second foul shot, too strong off the back of the iron. He knew it immediately and tried to go in for the tip back, but now moving quickly the other way is Stafford. 3-ball from that right wing, up and good, and we have a tie ball game at 3. That 3-pointer up and good by Donovan Arneson.
Yeah, Arneson open on that right side and no hesitation. He caught that pass and very fluidly went right into the shot.
Villa working up into the lane, floater, and that one too strong off the backboard. Rebound for Stafford, and they'll move back up into the offensive zone quickly across the timeline for Adrian Penn.
Yeah, Villa trying to get the rebound on his own miss, tipped it, and it was right into the hands of Moorer.
Yeah, moving quickly, good backdoor cut and floater in the lane, too strong off the front of the iron for Adrian Penn, and back the other way. Picking up his dribble as a double team was coming was Penn. Now good hesitation move down low and a kick into Villa. Now Dow on the right wing, or the right corner, and we're going to get another 3-second call, and that one looks like it's going to go on Trey Sager, who went into the lane, was looking for an up and under, and then ended up kicking it out and not getting out of the lane, Matt.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to get the open three from this right corner from Kamarian Dow, but just as he was ready to shoot, we heard the whistles blowing, and that's 2 turnovers now for Martinsburg, both on 3-second violations.
Moore had it momentarily, now a drive and a kick back out. It's Penn with it at the top of the key. He'll go with the left hand and kick it out in that left wing. Now a cross-court pass. Free ball from that right wing up and too strong, but an offensive rebound for Bruce DePee. Shot rattles around and falls out. Now Dow going to bring it into the front court for Martinsburg.
Yeah, Arneson on that 3-ball attempt to get that kind of whole sequence started. He's not afraid to take that deep ball. We've seen it already. He's made one.
Dow trying to set up that offense, looking for a couple of cutters. He does get one now in that low block. It's Villa trying to put a shot up, an off-balance shot too short. Off the iron and going back the other way is Donovan Arneson. A 3-ball from that right wing. It's Penn. That one hits the iron, is too short, and Dow now back the other way for Martinsburg. Spin move in the lane. Now a good pass to Reed. Hits the deck and now goes up with it, but that blocked. Good block down low. Now back the other way comes Stafford. We have a one-on-one. Feet were set, and we're going to get a offensive foul on the drive on Amari Moorer. Good job down low, keeping those feet set for Austin Reed.
Yeah, great job down inside. Was that Reed or was that Garrett Stobbs? Either way, whoever was the one to hold that ground, a nice job. Very late whistle. I did not think momentarily that they were even going to call that.
And the ball completely going around the cylinder and out before that whistle blew. Kamarian Dow with it at the point. Again, setting up that offense. He's into the front court. It's a high ball screen from Telrin Villa, but good man-to-man defense, lockdown defense by Joshua Wallace. A 3-ball from the right side, up and good. Luke Fowler, his first points of the season. A 3-ball from the right wing. It's 6'3" Bulldogs.
Yeah, 6'4" sophomore has that touch.
And back the other way, it's Jacob Dunover. He hits a 3 from this left wing, and we're tied back up at 6 with 3:27 remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, we were told keep an eye on him. He is their best shooter, and he knocked that one down with a hand in his face.
Now it stops too strong off the back iron. And a rebound coming back the other way was Joshua Wallace. Now a 3-ball from the right wing. That one up and rattles around, does not fall on the shot. It was number 5, Tyshawn Ellis. Now a pass inside. Telrin Villa trying to go up over top, trying to make a football catch like over a defender's shoulder. And they're going to say it was in the act of shooting.
Yeah, actually, he was taking that one down the lane himself and was losing it as he was going up, and he lost it because he got hit on the arm. And that foul looks like it will go on Tyshawn Ellis, and that's going to be his first, and it should be the team's, 4th.
2 shots for Villa. First one up. Rattles around, but does fall through, and the Dogs regain the lead 7-6.
Yeah, Villa with 3 points so far in this opening quarter. We've been tied twice, 3-3, 6-6. Martinsburg regaining the lead once again. They've yet to fall behind in this one.
Second foul shot up for Villa, and that one rolls around and goes out of bounds. Last touched, they're going to say, by Luke Fowler, Stafford basketball.
And Martinsburg, 2 of 4 now in free throw shooting, as Villa and Sager have each gone 1 for 2 as a team last year from the foul line, made 70%.
Again, a lot of perimeter ball movement. This time a drive into the lane, stutter step, and a kick back outside. Drive to the lane, another kick to the outside. That is so far what Stafford is trying to do, is draw the defenders in and find threes on the outside. This one going to be a long 2, but blocked. That one coming off of the arm of number 24, Bruce DePee.
And Dorn Smith with a nice job to get a hand up there and partially deflect that 3-pointer. And now it's Smith on the other end who's going to go to the line.
It was Dorn Smith going up strong. Gets contact, or draws contact rather, and he'll have 2 shots trying to make it a 3-point game. 2:36 remaining in the first quarter.
Hey, and let me go back and correct myself. Earlier as we were getting things started, I mentioned 8 guys on the bench. It's actually 9 on that bench for Martinsburg. Somebody in that black jersey was hiding behind coach or something.
First foul shot, too strong off the back of the iron for Doran Smith. Score remains 7-6.
And the Dogs now 2 of 5 from the free throw line in this opening quarter.
Jalen Allen comes into the ball game for Stafford. Second foul shot up and good. 8-6 now the Dog lead as Doran Smith, Doran Smith, 1 of 2 from the line. Stafford basketball in the front court. That was Robinson with it. Now hands it off to the top of the key. Again, a stutter step going, driving the lane and stepping out of bounds, trying to plant that foot. Was number 10, Joshua Wallace, had nowhere to go. It was good defense along the baseline. Tried with that spin move, but that left foot slid, hitting the baseline. Martinsburg basketball.
Yeah, turnover for Stafford. They've done a nice job of protecting the basketball so far. I've got that as just their first. Martinsburg with only 2 turnovers.
Dow had it momentarily. Now Doran Smith going across the court back to Dow. He's on that right wing. Now Telrin Villa with it. Stops in the lane, now kicks it back outside. Now he'll take it on that low block. A spin move, fadeaway jump shot from that low block. Up and good for Telrin Villa.
He's got 5 points and almost ended up running into Trey Sager. Sager gave him the ball and then was looking to kind of loop around him. And with that step back move from the low post right side, Villa and Sager almost met.
Penn has it at the top of the key again, working quickly around that 3-point arch. Driving with that left hand, going up, foul called on the floor. And they're going to give him 2 shots. Going strong with that left hand was number 34, Jacob Dunover. And that'll be team foul number 2 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and that'll be the first on Luke Fowler. Fowler giving up a little bit of size in there as he was trying to defend that shot.
First foul shot up and good for Dunover. Now just a 1-possession game, 10-7 is that Martinsburg advantage. Second foul shot up, and it is good. Now 10-8, a 2-point Dog advantage. Stafford now showing a little bit of pressure. Little man-to-man press in the backcourt, but a good behind-the-back move going up the lane and going for the alley-oop type play. Would have been a floater before Telrin Villa can't go, and going back the other way, trying the exact same thing, going up strong. Was number 42, Jalen Smith, and he couldn't bring the basketball down. It ends up going out of bounds on a great effort play by Kamari and Dow trying to keep it in bounds. Ended up stepping out of bounds. Stafford a basketball in the offensive end. A long pass into the backcourt, and it's stolen by Dow. Now it is going up with the right hand lay and finishing at the basket is Doran Smith. It was a good tip from Kamari and Dow to find a Doran Smith on the cut. Now 3-ball from the left wing. That one too strong off the back of the iron. That one coming from Jacob Dunover.
Yeah, very good box out by Trey Sager on that miss to hold off a defender and grab that rebound. I've got the Dogs with an 11-7 rebounding edge right now.
Kamari and Dow being tightly guarded at the top of the key. Kick to that left wing. It is Fowler again. This one too short, just grazing the front of the rim. Going back the other way is Stafford. Quick movement just inside that 3-point arc. A long 2-point jump shot, no good, but a good offensive rebound following his shot was number 42, Jalen Smith. Back the other way, it's Dow fighting through contact and finishing with the right hand. And Martinsburg gains a 6-point advantage, 14-8, as we're under a minute to play in the first quarter.
Boy, and how quickly did Martinsburg get back down the floor, giving Dow that opportunity really to go one-on-one and make a tough shot.
And good lockdown defense by Dow. Again, just a sophomore.
He almost got that one from Robinson.
Driving on the left, and we get contact, and they're going to give continuation and the shot and one, a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. At least an opportunity for it coming up for Jacob Dunover. Started in that left wing and drove with the left hand, fighting through contact and finishing off the glass.
Head coach Dave Rogers could just turn and look at the official. Assistant coach Bruce Fowler actually stood up and said something to the official about that continuation.
Foul shot for Dunover off the front of the rim, back of the rim, and it rattles home 14-11. So Stafford back within 3, 14-11, 31 seconds left in this first quarter of action.
8 of the 11 points have come from Dunover. The other 3 on a 3-ball from Donovan Arneson. That's been it for Stafford.
Garrett Stobbs with the basketball, gives it off to Smith. Now Smith, an acrobatic shot trying to finish with the left hand. It won't go. Penn gets that offensive rebound out. 3-on-1 opportunity and a loose basketball. Couldn't handle it. Could Jalen Smith. Now back the other way. It's Dorn Smith with it. Now back up to Garrett Stobbs at the top of the key. Stops in the lane. Now kicks out to Smith, and he loses the basketball and is going to get called for a foul with 0.8 seconds left on the game clock.
Just a little too rushed that time. Martinsburg, knowing the seconds winding out of this first quarter, wanted to get a good look and ultimately turned it over.
So not sure there'll even be a shot opportunity here. A Penn with it on the inbound, looking for somebody near the basket. A dribble and no shot. Opportunities that didn't look like Jacob Dunover was aware that there was under a second left on the clock, took a dribble back towards half court, and we are through a 1 quarter of action here from Fredericksburg, Virginia. After 1 quarter, it is Martinsburg 14, Stafford 11, back in 60 seconds.
They're my closest friends. We've been through a lot together. Seeing our kids off to college, Kelly losing her mom, my 50th birthday, I trust them with so much. So when it came to my finances, I trusted Kelly's referral to her Ameriprise advisor. Beth gives me the comprehensive advice that helps me feel confident my financial future is secure. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Welcome back into Stafford High School, home of the Indians. After 1 quarter of play, it is the Martinsburg Bulldogs with the 3-point advantage, 14-11. Matt Crawford doing the play-by-play for the still recovering from a chest cold. Matt Miller doing the color today, and you should hear him in our commercial breaks hacking up a lung. Poor John Alderton's got to listen to it running the camera.
Sorry, John.
It is Penn with it in the backcourt, now enters the offensive zone for Stafford.
Matt, by the way, Jacob Dunover, 8 points leading the way after quarter #1 for Stafford.
Good cut to the lane, finishing with the right hand and one. And who is it? It's Dunover.
There he goes again. We were told he's their shooter. He's the guy you got to watch out for. And for Trey Sager, that's going to be personal foul #2. So he's going to have to be careful. And let's see if Coach Rogers will go to the bench. Again, only 9 players available. Still waiting for all the football guys to come back.
Foul shot up and good, and we are tied at 14 with 7:45 remaining in the second quarter.
Telrin Villa, leading scorer for Martinsburg after 1. He's got 5. Dorn Smith and Luke Fowler each have 3.
Villa's the one with it. Little hesitation move. Now kicks it to Stobbs, who will kick it right back down on that baseline to Villa. Good stop move in the lane, and too strong off the back of the iron, and a defensive rebound momentarily for Stafford, and we are going to get a foul call. And that one is going to go on Trey Sager.
And that one hurts because that is foul #3, and the Dogs, the 6'3" junior, is going to have to head to the bench. You look back at last year, and Sager averaged 5.5 points a game, scored 148 points over the course of the season. Really proved to be a good rebounder down inside as well. They need him to be able to stay on the floor, but can't right now.
In this left corner with the basketball, driving right down the lane and almost finishing with the right hand was Tyshawn Ellis. And just too strong, almost a good follow-up attempt as well.
No, not a good follow-up attempt. I'm going to fuss at you and the officials.
For not calling a goaltending.
I was going to say that was basket interference all the way and should have been called.
Villa driving on that baseline, kicks it out to Garrett Stobbs on that left wing. Now good ball movement. Dow with it on that right wing and misses everything as it goes out of bounds, almost hitting a cheerleader on the way out. Good effort play by Garrett Stobbs, but I think that was the case where the sophomore had a little too much time to think about how open he was on that shot from the right wing.
The cheerleaders with a little bit of laughter, except for the one that almost got run over. I think she just wiped some sweat from her brow.
Penn has that ball poked away on the floor and then taken away again by Stafford. Now Penn with a little 8-foot jumper. That one is too short. Now kicking it back to the outside, straight away driving down the center of the lane, and that shot too strong, coming off of the right arm of Amari Moorer.
Moorer, just a sophomore. You like his body build. He reminds me a little bit of Joe Bouquet for Martinsburg over the last couple of years. He's tall, has the long arms, very athletic, but a raw talent, you might say.
Doran Smith set to inbound. Kamarian Dow will send it to Teller and Villa. Now back to Dow as he brings it across the timeline.
Matt, this tie at 14-14 is our third tie. Each time the game has been tied, Martinsburg has scored a go-ahead basket.
And just like that, 16-14, Teller and Villa from just inside the foul line. And the Dogs regain the 2-point lead with just over 6 minutes left to play in the first half of this one. It is Penn with it on that left wing, looking to give it off to somebody. He'll finally use that dribble and bring it out to about the jump circle.
Yeah, Dow's been impressive on the defensive end, the young sophomore.
Again, Penn picks up his dribble. Took him a few moments to find somebody. Now with the basketball is Arneson. A spin move in the lane. I think got away with a third step. Now a 3-ball and air ball, but an offensive rebound floater back in the lane. And that putback up and good for number 5, Tyshawn Ellis.
And for Ellis, he becomes just the third player to score today for Stafford. And now Martinsburg with their 5th turnover.
16 all here at Stafford High School. First game of the year for both of these teams, and I think you're seeing some of those early season jitters early. Stafford having some trouble finishing at the net. They've had some good looks right next to the basket, just haven't been able to finish in Martinsburg. You mentioned those turnovers early. Good tight man-to-man defense at the top of the key. An open 3 from straight away, too strong as that shot coming off of the arm of number 5. That is Tyshawn Ellis. Now back the other way. It's Teller and Villa bringing it into the front court before giving way to Garrett Stobbs. Now Dow with it at the jump circle.
Nice job, Doran Smith, tipping that rebound a couple of times before eventually being able to grab it.
Teller and Villa looking for a ball screen instead. He'll kick it back out to Garrett Stobbs on the right wing. 3-ball up and good, and the Dogs regain the lead 19-16 on the 3 from Garrett Stobbs.
There you go. We've been waiting for that. Yep. He's missed one already in this first half, but he really showed us he's got a good range when we saw him last year.
Arneson gives it off at the top of the key. Now looks for it back, but nowhere to go on the pass. Now it's Ellis with it, looking for a high ball screen. Gets one momentarily before giving it off to Arneson. Now Penn with it, driving the baseline. Will look for that right-hand floater. Too short off of the iron. And Dow coming down with it, working quickly up into the front court. Lobs it up for Villa with the right hand and had to go a little too far back and was off balance going up back the other way. Is Stafford. Penn with it in that right corner.
I think that's one that Teller and Villa's got to go ahead and pull down. I think he still had time to catch that one and then get the shot away.
Pump fake, and it was an open 3 for Donovan Arneson, but missed it short off the iron. Now Stobbs with it in the front court.
Arneson hit that 3 for the first points of the game for Stafford, but has gone cold since then.
Garrett Stobbs with it straight away. Now gives it off to Dow. Teller Villa now with it. He'll try the 3, and that one's short off the iron from straight away. Back the other way is Stafford, down by 3, 19-16, under 4 to play in the first half, 3:54, and counting on a quick-paced game so far.
Yeah, both of these teams want to get up and down the floor, and they're doing just that, taking a lot of shots from beyond the arc, and that means a lot of rebounds. I've got Martinsburg with a 16-15 rebounding edge.
Dangerous cross-court pass, but Arneson comes up with it. A spin move in the lane, fighting through contact, and coming up with it was Austin Reed, but throws it away. And the ball will go back to Stafford.
Yeah, turnover for turnover. Austin Reed trying to bounce that one ahead to Doran Smith. Would have had a one-on-one opportunity, but that bounce speed just never really popped up off the floor. Smith got his fingertips on it, but it skimmed out of bounds.
Coming back into the game for Stafford is Bruce Dupuis. Now into the front court is Joshua Wallace. He gives it up. Now quick ball movement around the arc. Good pass down low. Dupuis now with it after the tip. Finds a cutter down in the lane with the right hand. Too strong off the back of the iron was Jacob Dunover. Back the other way for the Dogs. Deflected out of bounds, looking for Garrett Stobbs. Deflecting it out of bounds was Joshua Wallace. It'll stay Martinsburg basketball on the offensive end for the Dogs.
You can definitely tell it's game one because both of these teams, while they've missed the long ball, and you'd expect that, both teams willing to take that 3, each has missed some shots in the paint that I know they'd like to have back.
Yeah, I think more so for Stafford than Martinsburg at this point. They've had several good looks down low. Inbound from the far sideline in front of the student section Dow gets that inbound and a high ball screen from Villa. Now Villa on the cut after the screen, puts it up and in, and that is about as old-fashioned of a basketball play as you can get. The pick and roll for two, and Martinsburg takes a 21-16 lead.
Telrin Villa, who averaged 10 a game last year, has 9 already in this one.
DePee misses that three off the front of the iron. A loose ball, fighting for it was Stobbs and Arneson, and after originally giving possession to the Dogs, the official on our far side is going to say it last went off Stobbs. It'll say Stafford basketball at baseline inbound in the offensive end.
Yeah, I think that was probably the right call. Maybe initially just pointed the wrong way, but he corrected it.
Free ball from the right corner, an air ball. That one coming off of the arm of Joshua Wallace. Now another turnover for the Dogs as Garrett Stobbs was looking for Doran Smith. Now Stobbs going to get called for the fouls. DePee was driving in the lane, misses the shot, but will go to the line for two with 2:29 remaining in the second quarter. Martinsburg 21, Stafford 16.
Yeah, a pair of mistakes there for the junior guard. He got the rebound on the air ball from the baseline, had a chance to move up the floor, but threw it away. And then just trying to make a play, comes back a little over-aggressive and commits the foul.
Timeout on the floor. We will take the 30-second break as well. A couple of foul shots coming up for Stafford right now with 2:29 remaining in the second quarter. It's Martinsburg 21, Stafford 16.
What's your shot look like? Is that our camera down there on the...
Yeah, that's a scoreboard cam.
That's just the scoreboard
right there
cam.
was shaking too much.
Because of the bleachers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured...
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
A chest cold. It is Eric Sterick and Alec Epperson, our studio engineers for TV 10 and Talk Radio WRNR. DePee with two foul shots. First one rattles around and falls out. So one of two, no good for DePee.
Still just 3 players have been able to find the basket and put points on the board so far for Stafford.
Here comes the second foul shot. That one too strong off the back of the iron. So DePee goes 0 for 2, and the score remains 21-16. He's going to pick up the foul. Drawing it was Doran Smith.
Yeah, Doran Smith getting that long rebound, trying to work up the floor, and Bruce DePee reaching in from behind. Again, you miss those free throws. You want to make something happen, and you end up committing a bad foul.
A dangerous inbound pass from Garrett Stobbs. Dow able to get to it. Now gives it to Telrin Villa. Momentarily has it poked away. Tries to go behind the back, and Dow going to get called for the foul, going for the basketball. It would have been an easy layup at the other end for Donovan Arneson, so not the worst foul in the world on the effort. It's going to look like an effort foul for Kamarian Dow.
Now the officials really letting a lot of contact go. I thought there easily could have been a foul called on the defender going through Telrin Villa to tip that ball away, and then initially that's what caused the fray where the ball got picked up by Stafford. A diving attempt in there by Dow to get to that loose ball, and an obvious foul on him.
8 fouls now on the Dogs, so it'll be the bonus for Stafford. So going to the line will be Donovan Arneson.
3 of those 8 fouls for Trey Sager, who's on the bench and has been there for much of this second quarter.
And you got to wonder how quickly he's even going to come into the game in that second half.
I'm imagining he'll start that second half, but certainly going to have to play carefully.
Arneson at the line for a 1-and-1. 2:16 remaining in the first half. Martinsburg, the 21-16 lead. First foul shot short off the front of the iron. And hauled in by Jess Sutherland. First time we called Sutherland's name. The 6'4 sophomore, the only center listed on this roster. And talking in the pregame, you wondered how much you were going to see him tonight and see what kind of impact he can have down low.
Now, son of Rich Sutherland, who I can see sitting across the floor on the other side, part of that 94 state championship team for the Bulldogs.
Driving the lane kick to Telrin Villa. Now a jump stop just inside the foul line. That one too short. Coming back the other way is Stafford. Losing that basketball. Good defense by Soril Ngase. And that ball going out of bounds. Losing the basketball was Arneson. It'll be Dogs basketball with 1:43 left to play in the first half.
Joshua Wallace, actually, number 10, tried that crossover move, and I'm not sure if Ngasa got a hand on it or if he just didn't really handle that crossover. But, again, both of these teams missing some opportunities.
Poked away momentarily from Doran Smith, now giving it back at the top of the key and drawing contact is Ngasa. And he will draw the foul and go to the foul line. Team foul number 7 for Stafford, and a 1-and-1 upcoming.
Nick Balaka picking up that personal. That'll be his second. They have, third, pardon me, as they put it up on the scoreboard. I mismarked earlier.
First foul shot too strong, and Dunover coming up with the rebound. Stafford basketball under a minute and a half to play in this first half. 1:20 and counting, 21-16. The Dogs with the 5-point lead.
They're kind of low scoring right now.
Ed DePee looking for a lane to drive. He finds it on Villa, then has to kick it back outside. In this left corner was Wallace. Now brings it back out to the top of the key. Again, looking for a place to drive. Nowhere to go. Good ball moving on the outside. We're under a minute to play in the first half, and a body foul going to be called on Jess Sutherland.
That's a tough one on Sutherland as he tried to cut off that baseline on the drive from Wallace. They both kind of got there at the same time, but Wallace really sold it as he kind of lost the ball, threw the hands up into the air, and kind of flew out of bounds.
Wallace at the line. First of the 1-and-1, up and good. 21-17. Stafford back within 4.
Well, they've knocked down 5 of 8 of their free throw attempts this season.
And Coach Rogers going to call a timeout for Martinsburg. Let's go ahead and take the 30-second break as well. Back with the rest of the first half. It is Martinsburg 21, Stafford 17.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face. When someone close to you passes away, it's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
Welcome back in as we talk about what's been coming out of Matt Miller's body with the coughing for the last week and a half, apparently. Slugs was the last thing that I heard, and then just zoned it out. Second foul shot up and good for Wallace, but I believe we're going to get a lane violation on Wallace, so that second foul shot not going to count. The score will remain 21-17 Martinsburg with 56 seconds left.
And Martinsburg able to catch a little break there.
Now with it. Now kicks it back to Smith. Now Villa with it. They got to get it across the timeline, and they do with just a second to spare.
It looked like Stafford wanted to trap if Villa would have brought it across that midcourt stripe. It got it back to Dow.
Villa inside, a jump stop in the lane, short off the backboard, then the iron, but a good offensive rebound by Sutherland. Now a 3 from straight away for Dow. That one off the right side of the iron, and Stafford back with the basketball, 25 seconds left.
Yeah, I think may have rushed that shot just a little bit.
Free ball from the right wing, up and good for Donovan Arneson. And we have a 1-point ball game, still a whistle on the play.
So we have a foul underneath and going to get position for the rebound.
The whistle didn't come till after that shot was made.
I didn't think so either, and that's the question I think going on there at the scoreboard.
So they're going to give the 3 and then give the 1-and-1, it looks like.
Well, pardon me, I thought they said the foul was on 44. Well, 44 is not out there for Martinsburg. They don't have one. All right, now they're going to the other end. There we go.
So a question of which side the foul was on. So the 3 counts. And now it'll be Tellerin Villa going to the line for a 1-and-1 with 22.5 seconds remaining in the first half. And Martinsburg up by 1, 21-20.
4 fouls now on Belko.
Villa's first foul shot rattles around, and he misses it. It was Dunover coming down with the rebound. He still has it in the backcourt. Under 20 seconds to play now, 15-14. 14 for Stafford. They can hold for the last shot, which it looks like they will.
The Dogs look like the Mountaineers right now, not shooting free throws very well.
Arneson loses the basketball, is able to tip it to a teammate. 5 seconds left, driving in, loses the basketball. Now it's going to have to be a prayer three for Dow, but he never gets the basketball. DePee pokes it away, just getting back in defensive position, and that is going to be your first half. A low-scoring first half from down here in Fredericksburg. We'll go into the halftime break with Martinsburg holding a 1-point lead, 21-20. Back in 60 seconds, we'll recap the first half and give you some stats as well and set you up for the second half between Stafford and Martinsburg. Again, at the half, it is Martinsburg 21, Stafford 20.
Floodwaters can spread E. coli bacteria. Here's Bill Kearns from the Berkeley County Health Department about what to do if your well is tested positive.
If it's just a one-time contamination, you can superchlorinate your well, which we have instructions at the health department. They could call and talk to us. You're providing an excessive amount of bleach down the well. Then you do a runoff to get that out of the system, to get the bleach through your lines, get any contamination out there. You do a runoff of so long, and then you can have it tested again.
The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. Call 304-263-5131.
Maytag knows extra dirty clothes need extra cleaning power. That's why the power of the extra power button makes Maytag extra powerful. Wow, dirt doesn't stand a chance against this kind of power. Get a load of this. That laundry is stacked. Not bad, huh? The Maytag extra power button. More muscle to tackle the tough job.
Welcome back into Stafford High School. We are in Fredericksburg, Virginia, I guess technically just outside of Fredericksburg. 2 hours from the Eastern Panhandle. 21-20, the Martinsburg lead at the half. Matt Crawford here doing the play-by-play. Matt Miller doing color tonight, still recovering from a chest cold. Again, wish you could hear some of the noises coming from Matt Miller in our commercial breaks. John Alderton running our TV 10 camera. And back at the studio is Eric Sterick and Alec Epperson. Good job back there tonight, gentlemen. Well, Matt, a low-scoring first half, just 41 combined points, and I don't want to say you expected it from Martinsburg, but a relatively young team. You're missing two key guys that you're not going to get back till this weekend in Teddy Marshall and Gerard Bowie. So you expected play to slow down a little bit, but turnovers have been a big issue for the Dogs in the first half, and missing some point-blank shots. But you can also say the same for Stafford. They have done a very good job of penetrating the lane, just have not been able to finish when they get close to the basket.
Yeah, you can tell it is game number one of the season for both of these teams. They've missed some opportunities. They've turned it over. Martinsburg struggling a bit from the foul line has not helped either. Right now it's a 1-point Bulldog lead, but the Dogs have missed 5 foul shots. They're just 3 for 8 from the line. And for Stafford, not a whole lot better. 5 of 9 from the line. But, both of these teams have done a nice job on the glass, as much as they can, holding the opposition to kind of a one and done. Each has had a few offensive rebounds and some opportunities. We'll see what kind of adjustments they make and how much maybe more relaxed they are coming out in the second half.
How about just 7 points for Martinsburg in that second quarter? It was 14-11 after one quarter of play. Stafford almost doubling and staying pretty consistent in their quarter-by-quarter output. They had 11 in the first quarter, down by 3, and 20 at the half, again, just down by 1. So Martinsburg not only just struggling from inside, but again, the shot just not quite there for them. You expect that early in the season, but it's just a matter of how quick you can adjust that. And again, a lot of these guys with their first varsity action, or in the case of a guy like Garrett Stobbs, had varsity action last year, but wasn't one of those guys that was going to be a leader on the court. And with Gerard Bowie and Teddy Marshall not on the floor, not going to be there till Saturday, you get thrusted into a role that you've never been in before. So I think you're seeing a couple of those first game jitters, but overall the youngsters have not done a bad job tonight.
Well, I think that's the thing right now for the Martinsburg coaching staff, Coach Rogers, Coach Fowler. They've got to be pleased that these young guys thrust into this role, have come out and battled, and have a 1-point lead, 21-20 at the half. That's probably part of what they're talking about in the locker room at the half. Guys, not bad. Now, clearly we can play better, and we want to play better as we head out in that second half, but I think you would take where they are right now.
Our halftime show brought to you by Smallwood and Small Insurance in Martinsburg. Auto, home, life, business, disability, and retirement. Smallwood and Small is your total insurance solution. Phone 304-263-3361. We have another break to take here in the Smallwood and Small halftime show. When we come back after this 60-second break, we will take a look at the Bullpup Report. We saw the freshman game earlier, or the JV game earlier rather, and we will talk a little bit of freshman basketball as well after the 60-second timeout. The Bullpup Report coming up next. Again at the half, it is Martinsburg 21, Stafford 20.
My family, we're always on the move. Little brother is living it up.
What's up, sis?
See Mom made dinner?
I will see you there.
And my big brother, he's got his hands full. But when Mom says come home for dinner, what could possibly stand in our way? Nothing. When you're a part of a family like this, you always show up. The Honda family of SUVs, awarded Best SUV Brand for 2019.
Miller Honda, south of Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. www.mymillerhonda.com. Let's talk trash, because when it comes to trash, you have options. Panhandle Dumpsters is a local family-owned garbage hauling company serving both residential and commercial customers with weekly trash pickup, dumpster service, yard waste pickup, and bulk pickups too. Panhandle Dumpsters will give you a free trash can and provide curbside service for just $23 a month. Panhandle Dumpsters features a fleet of quieter, eco-friendly garbage trucks, thereby reducing the noise usually associated with pickup. Switch now and save up to 30%. Call 833-DUMP-STR, panhandledumpsters.com.
Welcome back into the Smallwood and Small Insurance halftime show. It is time to take a look at what's going on elsewhere around Martinsburg High School in regards to freshman and JV basketball. Mr. Miller, we had a chance to see the JV game before the start of this one, and they, similar to the varsity, struggled scoring. It was a low-scoring game, and I think it says a lot about just, again, the youth with the JV as well as the varsity and just getting your feet underneath you in the first game of the season.
Yeah, 13-10 was the score at the half in that JV game. Stafford had that three-point lead, and in the second half began to stretch it out. Martinsburg just could not catch up as they ultimately fall by 12, 50-38 the final. So the JV boys taking a loss their first time on the floor. Haven't gotten the schedule yet from Coach Berg or Coach Smith, who handle the freshman team. I'll have to get that schedule, and we'll pass you more information on Saturday as we get it on the start of the season for the freshman boys. On the girls' side, don't know anything about the JV girls, as they should have opened against Goretti. Sometimes Goretti may not have the JV squad, so I'm assuming that they were able to play. And in the varsity matchup with Goretti, it was Goretti getting the win in that season opener. So the Martinsburg girls starting 0-1.
All right, that is going to wrap up our look at the Bullpup Report. One more 60-second break to take in the halftime show. When we come back, we'll give you the stats from the first half and the second half tip that is upcoming after this 60-second timeout. Again, at the half, it is Martinsburg 21, Stafford 20.
My family, we're always on the move. Little brother is living it up.
What's up, sis?
See Mom made dinner?
I will see you there.
And my big brother, he's got his hands full. But when Mom says come home for dinner, what could possibly stand in our way? Nothing. When you're a part of a family like this, you always show up. The Honda family of SUVs, awarded Best SUV Brand for 2019.
Miller Honda, south of Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. www.mymillerhonda.com. Let's talk trash, because when it comes to trash, you have options. Panhandle Dumpsters is a local family-owned garbage hauling company serving both residential and commercial customers with weekly trash pickup, dumpster service, yard waste pickup, and bulk pickups too. Panhandle Dumpsters will give you a free trash can and provide curbside service for just $23 a month. Panhandle Dumpsters features a fleet of quieter, eco-friendly garbage trucks, thereby reducing the noise usually associated with pickup. Switch now and save up to 30%. Call 833-DUMP-STR, panhandledumpsters.com.
Just a little over a minute and a half left before the second half, starting here from Stafford High School, home of the Indians. They're coming off an 18-7 campaign last year. The Dogs 27-1. Now let's take a look at the first half stats, starting with the Martinsburg Bulldogs.
All right, for the Bulldogs, just some team things. I've got them at 21 rebounds and 8 turnovers. They knocked down 2 3-pointers, committed 9 fouls, and went 3 of 8 from the charity stripe. Leading the way, Telrin Villa with 9 of the 21 points. He went just 1 of 3 from the line, though, did not make a three-pointer. Rounding out the scoring, Kamari and Dow with 2. Trey Sager, 1 point, 1 of 2 from the line. Dorn Smith hit a bucket, went 1 of 2 from the line for 3 points. Sorrell Ngaza, 0 for 1 from the line, did not score. Garrett Stobbs knocked down a three-pointer, and Luke Fowler hit a three-pointer as well. That is a look at the numbers for Martinsburg. On the other side for Stafford, they had just 4 players score. Jacob Dunover, 11 points, including 4 of 4 from the line. He hit 1 three-pointer. Donovan Arneson hit a pair of threes, went 0 of 1 from the line. He had 6 points. A 2-point bucket for Tyshawn Ellis. And then Josh Wallace, 1 of 2 from the line, as he scored a point. Bruce Dupay, 0 of 2 from the line. So in all, Stafford went 5 of 9 from the foul line, committing 7 fouls, hitting 3 three-pointers. They grabbed 19 rebounds while committing 6 turnovers.
Our halftime show, again, a service of Smallwood & Small Insurance, your total insurance solution at 121 Administrative Drive in Martinsburg, or phone them at 304-263-3361. Martinsburg will start the second half with the basketball. Out with momentarily. Now to Smith in that right corner. Double team. Was able to escape the double team. Good dish down low. Finishing with the left hand is Trey Sager, and the Dogs getting a 3-point lead now, 23-20 on the basket from Trey Sager.
Yeah, nice move, Dorn Smith. The double team came to him. He was able to dribble out of that double team, and that drew a defender to himself. Left Sager open underneath. Nice pass, easy make.
Penn with it. Again, finally uses that dribble. Now a good take from the left side off the back of the iron and in. Shot up and good by Dunover. A big playmaker in that first half and starting strong here in the second half, 23-20.
Yeah, he's arguably the tallest guy out there on the floor for either one of these teams. Got the long arms, a good smooth move to the basket to put that one in.
Dow hits Smith just inside the three-point line on the left corner. Misses it, but an offensive rebound by Garrett Stobbs, and a good dish down low again. That is Trey Sager, this time finishing with the right hand. Great pass by Garrett Stobbs, and the Dogs take a 25-23 lead, and Stafford wants a timeout. They do not like the defense they have seen so far here to start this third quarter.
No, and a nice job as, Martinsburg has gone to the basket, drawn defenders to themselves. That last one, Stobbs got the rebound, gave that little pump fake, and his 2 defenders came to him. Beautiful wraparound pass, and Trey Sager, the beneficiary, open in both of those cases, putting in a pair of shots.
Now you would most of the time expect Garrett Stobbs to try and finish with the left hand in that situation, but saw the size difference down in the lane and knew there was, with the defenders drawing into him, somebody was bound to be open right next to him. And again, you said it perfectly, the wraparound pass.
You go back to last year, the success for Martinsburg was so much predicated on the unselfish play. That's what you saw in these last 2 opportunities. Guys maybe had a decent look, but gave it up for an even better look in points.
With the basketball now is Dunover just inside the foul line. Jump shot too strong, is able to keep it alive. Penn getting the offensive rebound after Dunover tipped it out. Dunover now with the basketball. A little bit of hesitation now, finds a man down low on the low block. Spin move going up strong, too short on the shot was Donovan Arneson. Now Stobbs with the back the other way. A sharp one-handed pass. Telrin Villa couldn't handle it, but the Smith right there. Now Dow with it. Backing out to the jump circle before finding Stobbs on that right wing. A pump fake. He's driving a floater off the glass. That one a little short, but an offensive rebound by Villa. And we're going to get a foul down low, and that's going to go on Jacob Dunover as he was on the ground, causing what looked like make that Trey Sager. It hit the deck.
Wow, that's
a unique call, I'll give you that.
Very, very difficult call on Jacob Dunover, who simply went up trying to contest that first shot, ended up hitting the deck. There are bodies on the floor. Sager, as he tried to tip it up and in, came down on top of Dunover, ended up falling, and they called Dunover. I'm not sure I see that call.
Regardless, it will be Martinsburg basketball. Inbound from the baseline, 25-23, the Dog advantage, 6:12 remaining in the third quarter. It'll be Stobbs inbounding from the baseline.
Second foul on Dunover, by the way.
Inbound goes to Trey Sager. Now the give to Telrin Villa. He's going to drive. Floater off the back of the iron. No good. Another offensive rebound. It was by Sager. Then Villa gets the pass and finishes on the left side of the basket. Shot up and good, 27-22. That Martinsburg 5-point advantage, under 6 to play in the third quarter.
So much for maybe not having the same size as Stafford does down inside. This Martinsburg team has really been solid on the boards.
Donover kicks it out into the corner and now back out at the top of the arc. Quick ball movement. Now Donover a 15-foot jump shot. That one, Money never brought it to his chest. Got the pass and immediately went up and shot up and good. 27-24, Stafford back within 3. Dow driving in looking for Trey Sager. The ball deflected out of bounds, going back to the Indians.
Boy, how about the game Donover is having with the 2 shots that he's made here in the third quarter. He's up to 14 points. Right now leading all scorers. Telrin Villa with 11 to pace Martinsburg.
Into the offensive zone, Arneson now with it. Tight defense by Garrett Stobbs. Now pass down low, looking for Donover. He'll take the straightaway 3, too strong off the back of the iron, but an offensive rebound. That shot up and no good, going out of bounds, and it'll stay with Stafford. Trey Sager going after on the baseline. It'll stay with the Indians.
Amari Moorer trying to put up that shot just left of the basket down along the baseline. Nice defense by Martinsburg, but Sager couldn't keep it from going out.
Inbound goes to Arneson. Quick in and out ball movement. Good defense by Trey Sager. And now Telrin Villa, shot too strong by Joshua Wallace. Shot misses, and under 5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Martinsburg still a 3-point advantage. Trey Sager with it just beyond the foul line. He'll take a step back long two. That one too strong. A defensive rebound for Moorer, and back the other way is Stafford. Free ball from the left corner off the side of the backboard for Joshua Wallace. Now back the other way, and the slam with the right hand. That is Doran Smith with the flush, and the Dogs take a 29-24 lead on the breakaway.
Yeah, there you go. Nice outlet pass to get Doran Smith that look.
Donover a shot just inside the foul line, up and good on the shot in the lane. 29-26. Stafford is still within 3. Whenever the Dogs have made it a 2-possession game, the Indians have come right back and kept it either a 3 or a 2-point game. Drive on the right side. Telrin Villa has that shot blocked by Moorer, and now back the other way come the Indians.
Yeah, nice defense by the sophomore for Moorer to get the block without committing the foul. Now he throws one away.
Now coming back the other way is Dow. He will slow it up and find Garrett Stobbs on that left wing. 3 ball up, rattles around, does not fall off the foot of Moorer going back the other way. I know we're going to get a foul before the kickball, I'm guessing. Dribbled it right off of his foot.
They're saying that the reason that he did was that there was a reach-in or a slap down at the basketball for Trey Sager. Sager just picked up his 4th foul and is going to have to go to the bench.
Still going to be Stafford basketball, and one is driving hard to the lane was Jacob Donover on the left side, finishing with the right hand. A old-fashioned 3-point play opportunity upcoming, and a chance to tie the game with a foul shot for Jacob Donover.
He's got all 8 points in this third quarter for Stafford. Strong move to the basket there.
And Coach Dave Rogers wants a timeout. Let's go ahead and take the 30-second break as well. Back with a foul shot upcoming for Jacob Donover. We will be back after this 30-second timeout. It is Martinsburg 29, Stafford 28. Jacob Donover at the line, trying to complete the 3-point play. Takes a couple of dribbles. There's the knee bend follow through, and that foul shot up and good. And we are a deadlock at 29 with 3:30 remaining in the third quarter here from Stafford High School. Dow with it into the front court, gives it off to Garrett Stobbs in that right wing.
5th time we've had a tie. Each time Martinsburg has been able to come up with an X basket and regain the lead. They've not trailed in this one.
Dow and Stobbs playing some catch at the top of the key. Now the 3 ball on that right side. No good, but the putback Up and good with the right hand for Doran Smith. Luke Fowler missed the three initially, but a good job by Doran Smith. Never coming down with the basketball, just going back up with the right hand. Martinsburg regains the lead, 31-29.
Yeah, good box out, and it almost seem like he kind of hovered in the air momentarily as he grabbed that one and put it in.
Good spin move in the lane, but shot is short off the front of the iron by Arneson, but a turnover going back the other way. A short shot on the low block. Misses off the front of the iron, and we'll get a foul the other way. That shot missed by Tyshawn Ellis, and it'll be Martinsburg basketball. The second team foul of the half for Stafford.
Jalen Smith going to pick up the personal. Smith just recently checking into the lineup.
Kamarian Dow crosses the timeline into the front court for Martinsburg. Gives it off to Fowler, who loses the basketball, and going back the other way. It is going to be a wide-open layup. Finishing with the left hand is Donovan Arneson, and we are tied again, this time 31 apiece.
He becomes the second player to score in this second half before Stafford, as Donovan had scored everything up to that point.
Smith, little hesitation, going to the left side of the lane, misses, but the putback up and good for Telrin Villa on the baseline drive. Villa coming in from the middle of the lane, finishing what was a missed shot by Doran Smith, and the Dogs regain the lead, 31-30. Penn driving in the lane, gets it poked away momentarily, but Stafford keeps the basketball. Three ball from that right wing, up, no good, missed short. That one put up by number 12, Donovan Arneson. Another foul on the floor. This one going to go against number 42, Jalen Smith. And that'll be the third team foul of the half for Stafford with 1:51 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, just picked up his second.
And Martinsburg, the 33-31 lead. Dow with it as he nears midcourt. Get two stops on that left wing, immediately double team, gets rid of it. Smith now with it at the top of the key. Looking to drive to the right, nowhere to go, gets back to Stobbs. Stobbs is going to drive in the lane. Floater too strong off the back of the iron, but an offensive rebound on that far side by Dow. Now finds Telrin Villa from the right side of the foul line. That one too short, still a loose ball, and Villa going to end up staying with it for Martinsburg. Trying to go between the legs, hits off of his leg now, 2-on-1 opportunity. DePee going with the right hand, finishes, and the foul. The foul going to go on Garrett Stobbs, and a three-point play opportunity upcoming for Bruce DePee, who went strong to the right side of the basket, fought through contact, and won. He goes to the line to try to give Stafford the lead. We're tied at 33 with 1:18 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, big opportunity right here if Stafford can take this lead. They have battled throughout. Each time they've had an answer, so to speak, Martinsburg has been able to answer right back.
Foul shot hangs on the front of the rim but falls through, and Stafford gains the lead by one, 34-33. Dow now into the front court, gets a tiny screen from Villa, who then loses the basketball. Loose ball hauled in, a timeout called by Tyshawn Ellis, and a very heads-up play by Ellis, the senior, and it'll be Stafford basketball after the timeout. Let's go ahead and keep it right here during this timeout, and it was a 21-20 game as we went into the half, and now 14 points in the second half in the third quarter alone for Stafford, and both offenses playing better than they did in the first half, Matt, but Stafford is playing a little bit better right now.
Yeah, they certainly are right now on a 10-4 run since being down 29-24, and they've been doing it, forcing turnovers. We heard Coach Rogers in the pregame show talk about it. Can't turn the basketball over, can't make mistakes, and I've got Martinsburg right now at 13 turnovers, just 7 for Stafford.
Both teams still on their benches. Again, just 9 members of the Bulldog team available today. Anthony Smith will be back on Saturday. Teddy Marshall will be back on Saturday. And for the first time in a couple years, it'll be Gerard Bowie back on Saturday.
Yeah, Bowie did not play last year after playing the year before. You're talking about 3 very quick players that are going to add a whole new dimension to these guys out there now.
Free ball for Donovan, up and good with Doran Smith in his face, but able to rise and connect. Now a 4-point advantage for Stafford. Down into the front court. He's going to drive that left hand and kick it out to Fowler. Fowler jump stop from 18 feet, and he connects. Great shot by Luke Fowler, and Martinsburg needed that back within 2, 37-35.
Got to have a good defensive sequence here.
Good defense by Dow, but Penn with the kick out. Shot up by Jalen Smith, misses that one short. Villa chasing it out of bounds, but stepped on the baseline. It'll remain Indian basketball.
That's a nice play by Jalen Smith to stay with it. Even though he really couldn't do much more than get a fingertip on it, he was able to tip it, and it touched Villa, who tried to save it and couldn't.
Penn will inbound from the baseline. Kicks it into the far corner. A loose basketball. Garrett Stobbs going after it along with Ellis. It'll be Stafford basketball. Penn with the three from straight away, and he connects. 40-35, the Stafford advantage. Under 15 seconds left to play in the third quarter, down to the front court, being tightly guarded. Looking for somebody. He finds Stobbs going into the lane, has to put it up, but that shot is blocked by Dunover, and Stafford will get the last shot. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Dunover puts up the shot and almost connects off the left side of the iron, and we are through 3 from Stafford High School with 1 quarter remaining in the first game of the season for Stafford and Martinsburg. We will go to the fourth with the Indians up 40-35 back in 60 seconds. This is West Virginia High School basketball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
20-14.
Who should you call when it comes to your real estate legal needs?
This is Chris Luttrell, local real estate attorney with offices in Martinsburg and Charlestown. Let's be direct. Buying or selling your home is a matter not to be taken lightly. At my firm, Luttrell LC, we possess the experience and knowledge to represent you and ensure your most important investment is protected. Give us a call at 304-267-3050, 304-267-3050, because at Luttrell LC, your home is our business.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery, anthonysmenu.com.
High school, we are through 3 quarters. Martinsburg down by 5, 40-35 in the first game of the 2019-20 campaign for both of these teams. It was a 20-14 scoring advantage in quarter number 3 for Stafford, and they will start quarter number 4 with the basketball.
And 12 of the 20 came from Jacob Dunover, who leads all scorers with 23 points. Telrin Villa has 13, pacing the Bulldogs.
Smith with it on that right corner, gives it to Dupuis in the right corner, now coming out to the top of the key. There's Penn with it on the left wing. Now, again, a 3 from Dunover, that 3 short off the front of the iron. Now Dow comes down with it and stolen by Dupuis. Picked his pocket from the backside, and a foul now on Kamari and Dow, and that'll be team foul number 3 for Martinsburg here in the second half. Make that team foul number 4 in the second half for the Dogs.
Second foul on Dow on the night. Martinsburg again with another turnover.
Inbound from the baseline, looking for Smith. He gets it, now kicks it out to Dupuis, who will drive. Quick ball movement. As you can tell that Stafford's getting into a rhythm offensively. A step back jumper goes almost through the cylinder and back out, but an offensive rebound by Jalen Smith puts it through, and now a 7-point advantage for Stafford, 42-35. The initial shot came from Jacob Dunover. Now a 3 ball from the other end, and that 3 is up and good for Doran Smith from straight away. 42-38. The Dogs back within 4 as Ellis takes it across the timeline.
Smith now in double figures. He's got 10 points.
Easy look to Dunover down low. Great feed from Jalen Smith, and Dunover finished with the right hand wide open. And right now, nobody back from Martinsburg for the inbound. Luckily, not 5 seconds as Dow finally comes back and gets the basketball. Taking it into the front court is Doran Smith. Now Garrett Stobbs with it on that left wing. A floater with the right hand from 10 feet, and he connects. 44-40. Again, the Dogs back within 4 as we're under 7 to play here in this fourth quarter.
Stobbs made it look easy. That was not an easy shot. No. Left-hand dribble drive down to the baseline, switch to the right hand to float it up.
Ellis with the drive, finishes, and the foul with the underhand scoop shot off the glass, and he will go to the line and try to make it 3 points. And right now, Stafford's offense clicking on all cylinders, and Martinsburg's defense just can't seem to catch up.
Yeah, Luke Fowler going to be called with that personal. He'll pick up his second. Team foul number 5. Martinsburg right now going through a dry spell. Got to see if they can find a way to respond. Still plenty of time, 6:18.
Ellis at the line, foul shot too strong, but Dunover comes up with the offensive rebound. He'll take a 3 from the left wing, too strong, misses everything. Jalen Smith trying to keep it in, but goes off of his arm last. Had that arm fully outstretched, trying to keep his toes in bounds. It's Martinsburg basketball. Doran Smith into the front court for the Dogs. Everybody on the perimeter, and Smith will take the 3 from straight away, and he connects. A nice shot for Doran Smith as he's connected on a couple of 3s over the last couple of possessions. Under 6 to play, 5:49 and counting, a 3-point game.
Back-to-back possessions where he's done just that. Off the dribble, defender in front of him, pulls up and hits that 3.
Ellis looking to give it off, but blocked out of bounds by Garrett Stobbs. It'll be a Stafford inbound from the baseline. Ellis nowhere to go. It was good defense by Martinsburg, and Dave Rogers wants a timeout. Let's go ahead and take the 30-second break as well. Make it a 60-second break. So back in 60 seconds after this timeout. It is Stafford 46, Martinsburg 43.
Maytag knows extra dirty clothes need extra cleaning power. That's why the power of the extra power button makes Maytag extra powerful. Wow, dirt doesn't stand a chance against this kind of power. Get a load of this. That laundry is stacked. Not bad, huh? The Maytag extra power button. More muscle to tackle the tough job.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering a quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I'm beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
Both teams out of the timeout. It'll be an inbound from the baseline. Set to inbound is Arneson for Stafford. Looking for somebody immediately and poked out of bounds after looking for Amari Moore. And it'll stay Stafford basketball.
Look, I like the effort in knocking it out of bounds, but that's Trey Sager. He can't afford another foul. Sticking a hand in there and poking that one away. He's got to be careful.
A deep toss to Penn, and I think if Doran Smith turns around, he may be able to intercept that basketball. Jump shot from the foul line for Jacob Dunover, and he connects back out to a 5-point lead for Stafford. And Matt Dunover has been everything he was hyped up to be.
He's got 27 points now in this one. Had 11 at the half, so 16 second-half points.
Villa on the drive, a floater in the lane, and one. He'll go to the line and try to make it a 3-point play. Great poise by Telrin Villa, driving in the lane and throwing the brakes on before going up with the right-hand floater.
Telrin Villa pacing Martinsburg. He's got 15 points. 1 of 3 from the line in that first half. Let's see if he can get this one.
Foul shot up and good, and the Dogs are back within 2, 48-46, 5:14 remaining in the ball game. Into the front court is Dunover. Looking for somewhere to drive. Good defense by Telrin Villa. It's now Arneson on that right wing. I think got away with a slide step, but does get it away. Now Donovan, make that Dunover. He gives it off to Ellis on that left wing. He drives, trying to finish with the right hand. It doesn't go. Dunover with the putback and the foul. And offensive rebounds have been a key in this second half offensive outburst for Stafford. And you see another opportunity for second chance points. And Jacob Dunover connects. 50-46. Here comes the foul shot. It is up, and it is good. 51-46, the lead for Stafford. Back out to 5.
And he is having himself a game. He is 6 for 6 from the foul line. He has knocked down 1 3-pointer, 2 3-pointers actually, and has done a lot of damage in the paint.
Garrett Stobbs, a deep 3 from the left wing. That one misses, and coming down with the rebound is Arneson.
Not sure that was the shot you wanted in that offensive set right now, down by 5 points. A little too quick.
Penn with the basketball, trying to shake Garrett Stobbs. Stobbs having none of it. Good lockdown defense. Now it's Ellis with it, with a cutting man down low in the lane. The shot up, good, and the foul. And Donovan Arneson, for I believe the third time in the last 4 possessions, will go to the line for Stafford and try to make it the old-fashioned three-point play.
Arneson now up to 10 points. That last foul on Garrett Staub's going to be his third.
Takes a couple of dribbles. That left-handed shot too short off the front of the iron. Still a 7-point game, 53-46. Fowler gives it to Telrin Villa at the top of the key, tightly guarded. Now Villa going to drive, fighting through contact. And it'll be a foul on the floor, baseline inbound upcoming, and it'll be Luke Fowler set to inbound.
That foul's on Penn, could have easily been on Dunover as well, as both converge to try to cut down that driving lane for Telrin Villa.
Staubs gets the inbound, looking for somewhere to give it off. He does get it to Trey Sager, who puts it up, follows his shot, and connects on the second opportunity he had. Put up an off-balance shot that missed bad off the backboard. He knew it immediately and was able to follow his shot. A good effort play by Trey Sager. 53-48 with 3:44 remaining in the ball game. Good defense, and that shot blocked by Telrin Villa. Going up for the shot was Amari Moore. And now it is Telrin Villa driving in the lane, finishing with the right hand and one.
And Telrin Villa showing some emotion after putting that one through. He's got 5 points in this fourth quarter and is now up to 18 on the ball game. That foul, by the way, on Dunover, and that will be his third.
53-50. Telrin Villa trying to connect on this foul shot to bring the Dogs back within 2 with 3:29 remaining in the ball game. There's that foul shot from Villa, and he missed that one short. Coming down with the rebound was Jalen Smith. Now Stafford into the front court. It is Dunover with it before giving it off to Ellis. Now Smith with it. Penn on the right wing. Looking for a high ball screen, can't get it. Going to try to make something happen on his own. Penn with the give to Smith. A spin move, then he's got to kick it back out to Arneson. Now Arneson going to drive before kicking it back to Smith. He will go up and finish very elevated up near the rim, finished off the glass. 55-50, that Stafford lead back out to 5 with under 3 to play, 2:53 and counting.
Yeah, nice job moving the ball around. Got Martinsburg kind of off of their defensive positioning.
Trey Sager, a little bit of a head fake. It drove to the left and finished with that left hand, 55-52 after the basket from Sager. Dunover now driving, and that one too strong off the back of the iron. Doesn't get his own rebound, but Jalen Smith right there with the left-handed putback. And right now trading baskets, which is not where Martinsburg wants to be, down by 5. They need a couple of defensive stops. Smith almost has his pocket picked. Now it'll be Staubs from the left corner. That 3 up and good for Garrett Staubs. Dogs back within 2, 57-55, 2:15 remaining in the ball game.
He has drained his second 3 of this ball game, and Martinsburg has hit 3 threes here in this fourth quarter that have been so key.
And defensively, they need a stop, and they need a stop quickly. Jalen Smith with it. And now Penn has that ball poked away. It was Doran Smith with a diving effort out of bounds, but it went off him last. It'll stay. Stafford Indian basketball.
A very solid effort. Able to get a hand on it, poke it away, dive in front of Penn, but could not save it as it went out right at the midcourt stripe.
And we're going to have a timeout on the floor. Timeout taken by Stafford.
Looks like another full timeout.
So we'll go ahead and take the full timeout as well. 60-second break. Then we are back with 1:57 remaining in the fourth quarter. It is Stafford 57, Martinsburg 55. This is West Virginia High School basketball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Carpet World is more than just carpet. Carpet World specializes in a complete selection of hardwood floors by respected names like Armstrong, Bruce, Shaw, and Mohawk, and tile by Dowell Tile, American Oleum, and Mannington for all rooms in your home. And Carpet World can update your bathroom shower with very attractive ceramic tile walls and floor. Financing with up to 12 months deferred interest is available, along with experienced quality installation at Carpet World, 2330 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. CarpetWorldofMartinsburg.com.
They're my closest friends. We've been through a lot together. Seeing our kids off to college, Kelly losing her mom, my 50th birthday. I trust them with so much. So when it came to my finances, I trusted Kelly's referral to her Ameriprise advisor. Beth gives me the comprehensive advice that helps me feel confident my financial future is secure. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
Donover with the drive after the timeout, and he connects on the spin move in the lane. The lead back out to 4 for Stafford, 59-55, and Jacob Donover just continues to add to what is already a very impressive game. Trey Sager going up on the left side, loses it out of bounds, last off of what looked like his thigh before going out of bounds. It'll be Indian basketball with 1:39 remaining in the ballgame, 59-55. That Stafford lead. Martinsburg showing a man-to-man press now as Donover working on Telrin Villa gets into the front court. Penn now with a little hesitation move. He drives before kicking it out into this right corner. 3-ball up and off the front of the iron. Loose ball. And again coming back up with it is Arneson. He gives it to Penn. Now Ellis with it before kicking it back out. And right now Stafford looking to milk some time off the clock. But a good drive by Arneson. And he draws contact and will go to the line for 2. Took a hard fall. I believe they're going to get that foul on Telrin Villa. And that'll be team foul number 8. Against the Dogs here in the second half with 1:12 to play in the ballgame.
Third foul on Villa, and I've got Martinsburg up to 15 turnovers. Have really struggled with that in this one, and especially late. And you talk about Jacob Donover, 32 points. He has scored 21 in the second half after 11 in the first half.
Not a bad way to start your season. I'm sure there's been better at some point, but no, he's had a fantastic game. I think you can already probably go ahead and pencil him in as our player of the game so far. I mean, he has been, well, without him, Stafford's not even close in this ball game.
Yeah, you're looking at 59 points on the board for them, and he's got 32 of them. Yeah. He's been key, no doubt about it.
Arneson at the line, 4-2.
He's up to 10 points.
First foul shot, too strong off the back of the iron.
He's 0 for 3 from the line tonight after missing 1 in the first half. He's missed a pair now in this fourth quarter, so still life for Martinsburg.
Some substitutions as Luke Fowler comes back into the ball game for Ngasa. Arneson, the left-hander, with the second foul shot. That one up and rattles through. 60-55. That Stafford lead as we inch closer to a minute left in the ball game. 106 and counting. Trey Sager switching hands will kick it out to Garrett Stobbs in the right corner. That 3-ball up and good. The third 3 of the day for the junior, number 14, Garrett Stobbs.
Once again brings him within 2.
Penn with the drive, and that ball stolen by Trey Sager. Smith with it. He'll take the 3 from the left wing. Got it! Martinsburg takes the lead by 1, 61-60. And Matt, you're putting a 2 up. I thought he pulled his foot back beyond the line.
Now I was watching the underneath official, outside official as well. Both pointed down towards the ground and held out 2 fingers, and the scorer's table was going to ask right now whether that will count as a 3 or a 2. One of our officials talking about it right now. One of the assistant coaches for Stafford asking about it also. I think the officials are going to get together. I think they're going to probably make this 2 and tie this ball game at 60.
It sure did look like Doran Smith got that foot back. Again, from our angle, we're looking at the back of his jersey, and they are going to call it a 2, so the game will be tied at 60. Either way, a great little 5-0 run for Martinsburg to tie it up with 46 seconds left.
Yeah, Martinsburg doing what they've needed to do. They got to stop on one end, and boy, if they hit some big 3-pointers, and of course that huge almost 3 but 2-pointer to tie it down the stretch of this one.
46 seconds, 60 apiece. It'll be Stafford basketball.
6th tie of the game, and only once has Stafford found a way to take a lead after those ties.
The press put on by Martinsburg. Telrin Villa poking the ball away out of bounds. It'll stay Stafford basketball, 2nd going off of that game clock. Again, a strong press right now for the Dogs. Donover taking it. He is blocked immediately, and Ellis going to have to move quickly. Almost stolen by Smith. Ellis does get it across the timeline. Donover with a jump shot just inside the foul line, and he got it. He was still moving when he went up, moving towards the basket. 27 seconds left, and Stafford has a 2-point lead, 62-60. What a way to start this high school basketball season. And Coach Dave Rogers wants a timeout with 21.5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Martinsburg down by 2.
I would have that as the final timeout for Martinsburg. And looking at the scoreboard, they've got 0 up there as well. There's 1 timeout remaining for Stafford, should they try to use one.
And that was a great job of breaking the press by Ellis and by Dunover, because they did not want to use their final timeout with 45 seconds left on the clock. And right now, Martinsburg is going to try to find a way just to tie the ball game or try to do what they've done a lot tonight, and that is draw defenders in and kick it out to Stobbs or kick it out to Doran Smith. 34 points for Jacob Dunover, just 62 for the team. And you think he is drawing some attention after people are going to see this box score?
I guarantee
from around the Northern Virginia area.
All right, folks, start marking your calendar now for January the 4th. That is a Saturday, I believe. It'll be an afternoon affair as this Stafford team comes to the Martinsburg Fieldhouse. You're going to want to come out and see this kid.
Yeah, and what a game that'll be to start 2020.
There you go.
That'll be the first game after the holiday break. Right now, we got 21.5 seconds left in this one, and Garrett Stobbs throws it away. He was looking for Doran Smith, and Smith went into the back court and stopped, and then started back into the front court, and Garrett Stobbs throwing it to where he thought Doran Smith was going to be. And a turnover for the Dogs with 20.6 seconds left.
Coach Richardson got hit by a diving Bulldog trying to save that basketball on the sideline. He seems to be okay, but that's the brief delay.
26-year Marine Corps veteran. I think he's had worse. Inbound will come from this near sideline. Ellis gets it into the backcourt. We'll see what Martinsburg tries to do. Trying to trap Dunover with it at the foul line. Now kicks it back out to Ellis at the jump circle. Martinsburg's going to have to foul, and they will. Doran Smith going to foul Tyshawn Ellis.
Ellis has just 4 points in this ball game and is 0 for 1 from the line, so has not had a lot of opportunities. Let's see if he can come through in the clutch or if Martinsburg can catch a break.
1-1 for Ellis with 12.4 seconds left. Foul shot up, and it's short off the iron. Ellis tries to run it down, but he's the last to touch it before going out of bounds. Running over was Trey Sager, but again, it was Ellis the last to touch it. And with 11 seconds exactly on the clock, Martinsburg will have one final time up the court to try to tie this game. It is Telrin Villa driving in the lane, loses the basketball, but draws a foul. The foul's going to go on Amari Moore, and that is number 7, putting Martinsburg in the bonus. And Villa going to the line for a 1-1 with 7.7 seconds left.
Telrin Villa is just 2 of 5 from the line tonight. Has missed 3.
And you hear this gym come alive. Villa at the foul line, first foul shot up, rattles around and misses. Trey Sager had the ball momentarily, pokes it away out of the hands of Moore, and it'll be Stafford basketball with 4.9 remaining in the ball game. It's going to have to be a quick foul for the Dogs. They're going to show the press, and Coach Richards will use his last timeout. And we're not going anywhere. We're going to keep it right here with 4.9 seconds remaining. And Matt, could you ask for a better basketball game, or at least a better second half of this basketball game to start the 2019-2020 high school basketball season?
Well, I think Dave Rogers is going to say yes, because I want to see fewer turnovers and more made free throws, as this team has struggled from the charity stripe throughout this game and has struggled with turnovers throughout as well. I've got them upwards of 16 to 17 turnovers and a couple of costly ones here down the stretch.
Again, just 4.9 seconds left in the fourth quarter. A 2-point ball game. It's going to have to be a quick foul, or again, the press has been on the last 2 minutes of game time. See if Martinsburg can get a steal.
Yeah, that's it. If you don't get the steal, you immediately have to foul. And you certainly have to watch for some kind of a back pick and a baseball-type pass down the floor, and watch for Dunover. You got to imagine they want to put it in his hands.
Coach Richards done with his team, taking every bit of that 60-second timeout, drawing up a play to try to get somebody open and get the guy fouled who they want at the line. Again, early in the season, you have your idea, but still a young season, so no stats to go on at the foul line quite yet. It is an inbound. They do get it to Dunover. About a second comes off the clock, 3.8 remaining. And Jacob Dunover will go to the line. And it'll be 2 shots as 10 team fouls now against the Dogs.
Foul on Telrin Villa, and that's going to be his 4th personal.
At this point, doesn't really matter with 3.8 left. Don't think you're going to have much of a chance to get that 5th foul regardless. 62-60, Dunover at the foul line trying to ice it. First foul shot up, and it's good, 63-60. And for Martinsburg, you need a miss here for Jacob Dunover, and that's not something he's done often today.
7 for 7. He's not missed a free throw yet tonight.
Here comes the second foul shot from Dunover. This one is good, and it's a 4-point game with 3.8 left. 2 seconds, 1 second. A shot up, a prayer from just inside half court. It's good for Doran Smith, and the Dogs will fall by 1. 64-63, your final from Fredericksburg, Virginia, and Stafford High School. A tight game throughout, but Stafford going to start the season 1-0. The Dogs are going to fall for the first time in their first opportunity this season, something they only did once last year, and it was in the state championship. Again, your final, it was Stafford 64, Martinsburg 63. Let's go ahead and take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we will start our post-game show, recap this one, take a look at stats and our player of the game, and also set you up for our next broadcast. Back in 2 minutes, your final from Stafford. It was the Indians 64, the Dogs 63.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Prepare for what's next or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
WU Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources.
Certainly has helped take us to another level.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Welcome back into Stafford High School. It was a 64-63 final with the Indians getting the win in the season opener against the Martinsburg Bulldogs. They will drop their season opener for the first time since when, Mr. Miller?
The 2014-15 season, so 4 consecutive years. Martinsburg had won their season opener, but dropped the opener here tonight in a thrilling game in Stafford.
It was a low-scoring first half, just 21-20. Obviously, some offensive adjustments made in the at halftime going into the second half for both of these teams. And while Martinsburg was able to hit threes when they needed to, the momentum was Stafford's really from about the 4 minute of the third quarter on. it felt like. Obviously, it took them a while to get back and finally get that lead where they felt they were in the driver's seat. But you started to feel like shifting the momentum about halfway through that third quarter.
Well, you kind of wondered what would happen if they took the lead. We mentioned earlier that Martinsburg, whenever they had that situation where the score was tied, they were able to regain the lead. 3-3, Martinsburg goes up 6-3. 6-6, they go up 7-6. 14-all, they go up 16-14. 16-16, they went up 19-16. Then you got to that 29-29, and Stafford took their first lead. Martinsburg very quickly answered, regained that lead at 33-31, but Stafford came right back and led by 5 after 3. And then Martinsburg, every time they rallied, hey, you give this Indians team credit. They responded with big buckets, and especially getting the basketball to Jacob Dunover, who had one whale of a night.
Just 36 points.
8 of 8 from the line and 2 3-pointers. You look at his free throws and how important they were.
8 for 8.
The rest of the team was 3 for 11 from the foul line.
And you can look at those numbers all you want. He made the 2 when it counted.
Oh, absolutely.
And obviously, you look at Dorrance Smith hitting a shot from just inside of half court as the time expired. If Dunover doesn't make both those foul shots, only makes one, we're looking at a tie game. If he doesn't make either one, then you're looking at Martinsburg winning by 1. So not only did he go 8 for 8 from the line, but hit them when it mattered. And the underlying, I don't want to say theme of this game, but the one thing you were going to look at coming into this game was just the youth that Martinsburg was going to have to put on the floor. And overall, I don't think the youngsters did a bad job. I was very impressed with Kamarian Dow. I thought he played a very good game offensively, had a few turnovers, but you expect that from the sophomore, and made a few plays where you were less scratching your head. But defensively, I thought he had one whale of a game.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I was thinking by halftime, the young guy may be our player of the game for Martinsburg, the way that he was playing that lockdown defense and handling the basketball. But again, you know, as the game went along, you give Stafford credit as they were able to make plays. Martinsburg not quite able to make plays. Hey, Coach Rogers said, got to make free throws, got to play defense, and can't turn the basketball over. I think they played pretty good defense, although at times got burned on some backdoor cuts. They did a nice job on the boards. I have them actually +1 in rebounding, but they turned the basketball over. And that was key in this one, and the free throw shooting certainly doesn't help.
And hopefully that is something that can be fixed as we go through the early stages of the season before they get into the heart of EPAC play. All right, let's go ahead and take another 60-second timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look at the stats from this one and give you our players of the game, because obviously the overall player of the game, you can guess that right now. We'll also give you who we thought was the player of the game for the Martinsburg Bulldogs. We'll also go ahead and take a look at what is our next broadcast coming up in the post-game show. Again, your final here from Stafford High School. It was the Indians 64, the Dogs 63. Back in 60 seconds.
Prepare for what's next, or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
Floodwaters can spread E. coli bacteria. Here's Bill Kearns from the Berkeley County Health Department about what to do if your well is tested positive.
If it's just a one-time contamination, you can superchlorinate your well, which we have instructions at the health department. They could call and talk to us. You're providing an excessive amount of bleach down the well. Then you do a runoff to get that out of the system, to get the bleach through your lines, get any contamination out there. You do a runoff of so long, and then you can have it tested again.
The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. Call 304-263-5131.
Welcome back into the post-game show. Your final from Stafford High School. It was Stafford 64, Martinsburg 63. It's time to take a look at the final stats from this one and also name our player of the game. Matt, let's start with the victorious Stafford Indians. Give us first the team stats and then look at some individuals. I know the big one that stands out is going to be the 36 points, but tell us what some other contributors did in the game other than Jacob Dunover.
Well, 2 players went in double figures as Arneson went for 11 points, including a couple of three-pointers. He went 1 for 4 from the line. He was the only other player, though, in double figures. Jacob Dunover, 36 points. He hit 2 three-pointers, went 8 for 8 from the foul line, and man, was he good down the stretch in this game. I mean, he hit shot after shot, hustled and got to some loose balls, got a rebound and a putback basket in a key situation. Dunover clearly the player of the game in this one. Looking at other scoring, 4 points for Tyshawn Ellis. He was 0 of 2 from the line. A three-pointer for Adrian Penn, his only points of the game. Jalen Smith hit 3 shots for 6 points. Joshua Wallace, 1 of 2 from the line for a point. And Bruce Dupay, 1 of 3 from the foul line, hit a shot from the floor and finishes with 3 points. I had 36 rebounds, just 8 turnovers for this Stafford team. They handled the ball well. 11 of 19 from the foul line and 5 three-pointers that they hit. For Martinsburg, hey, 3 players went in double figures. Dorn Smith, huge second half, and in particular fourth quarter, as he hit 3 threes and scored 11 of his 18 points in that fourth quarter. Smith also went 1 of 2 from the line. Telrin Villa also had 18 points, including just 2 of 6 from the foul line. 11 points for Garrett Stobbs. He knocked down 3 three-pointers and also hit a 2-pointer. Rounding out the scoring for Martinsburg, Trey Sager, just 1 point in the first half, 8 in the second half. He finished with 9 points, 1 of 2 from the line. 2 points for Kamarian Dow, and Luke Fowler hit a 3 and a 2-pointer as he finished with 5 points. Martinsburg, 4 of 11 from the foul line in what proves to be a 1-point game. Knocked down some free throws. Could be a different story. They did hit 7 three-pointers. Here's the other bugaboo, 16 turnovers. You look at 4 of 11 from the line and 16 turnovers. Those are the numbers that jump out and say that's the reason they fell by 1 in this one. By the way, I had Martinsburg at 37 rebounds, so +1, 37-36 in that rebounding category.
There are your final stats from this one, and Matt Miller able to use the word bugaboo in a broadcast. It's time to take a look at the players of the game. Obviously, for the game itself, the player of the game is obviously going to be Jacob Dunover. 36 points.
Yes.
Dominated the game, not only offensively, but played very good defensively as well. And Matt, I'll be interested to see what your vote is for the player of the game for Martinsburg. Mine, I think it's Dorn Smith. I thought he had a fantastic game coming off the bench. I thought Trey Sager played very well. I thought he was gritty down low. I thought Garrett Stobbs had a very good game. I think there were a lot of contributors. That Telrin Villa, obviously another good one. Again, we talked about Kamarian Dow playing very well defensively in his first game. It's going to be tough to narrow down to just one. I thought there was a lot of players that were very good contributors tonight.
You've already narrowed it down, because my first thought as well was Dorn Smith. He nailed 2 three-pointers, just literally walking up, defender in front of him, knocked them both down, had the big breakaway slam dunk, brought a charge to the crowd here, and down the stretch made some big shots. And I'm with you. I thought Dorn Smith had a very solid fourth quarter in particular that lifts him to our player of the game for Martinsburg.
All right, John Alderton, you're shaking your head. Who's your player of the game? I'm putting you on the spot. You're shaking your head. Telrin Villa.
And I agree.
Yeah, I thought there were a lot of contributors, and I thought Telrin Villa played very good, not only scoring the basketball, but dishing the basketball out, and played very good at the defensive end of the court. So we'll give 2 players of the game. We'll give the cameraman player of the game from John Alderton, and the broadcaster player of the game that's going to go to
camera don't lie,
Telrin Villa. All right, one more 60-second break to take, then we'll come back and set you up for our next broadcast coming up on Saturday again after this final 1-minute timeout. Again, your final from Stafford High School. It was the Indians 64, the Bulldogs 63.
My family, we're always on the move. Little brother is living it up.
What's up, sis?
See Mom made dinner?
I will see you there.
And my big brother, he's got his hands full. But when Mom says come home for dinner, what could possibly stand in our way? Nothing. When you're a part of a family like this, you always show up. The Honda family of SUVs, awarded Best SUV Brand for 2019.
Miller Honda, south of Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. www.mymillerhonda.com.
Carpet World is more than just carpet. Carpet World specializes in a complete selection of hardwood floors by respected names like Armstrong, Bruce, Shaw, and Mohawk, and tile by Dowell Tile, American Oleum, and Mannington for all rooms in your home. And Carpet World can update your bathroom shower with very attractive ceramic tile walls and floor. Financing with up to 12 months deferred interest is available, along with experienced quality installation at Carpet World, 2330 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. CarpetWorldofMartinsburg.com.
As we wrap things up from Stafford High School, reminding you our final 64-63, the Indians beating the Bulldogs. It's time to set you up for our next broadcast, a little closer to home on Saturday. And we will be, or Matt will be, he'll be handling the broadcast duties on Saturday, along with John Alderton doing the camera. It'll be a game against Osborne, but at Hanley High School in Winchester, Matt.
And that game time supposed to be at about 6:30, so we would look to get on the air probably right around 6:10 or so. But again, looks like this is part of a kind of showcase of basketball that Saturday. Hanley is playing, I hope I say it right, is it Huguenot High School? It's like H-E-U-G-O.
If you say so.
Anyway, that's who they're getting out of Virginia in the nightcap. That one's scheduled to be right around 8 o'clock or shortly after 8 o'clock. So we'll get on the air about 20 minutes before that tip-off on Saturday, and that's not going to be an easy game. Osborne is going to have a very solid team. As we looked up just a little bit of information on them, good nucleus coming back from last year, and so that'll be another test for Martinsburg. Good news, though, for the Bulldogs. They will be at full strength, as all of the football players will have their practices in over these next couple of days and will be ready to go for that one. By the way, for Stafford, this weekend on Friday, they're at North Stafford in a rivalry matchup, and then at Freedom on Saturday. Now, both of those listed as away games. Not sure if that's a tournament at one of those two schools, like a mixer, or if it's actually two away games. But then on January 4th, this team comes to the Fieldhouse. Folks, we can't tell you enough. If you watched on TV 10, you saw it. This is a good team, a very good player in Donover. That's going to be a fun matchup at the Fieldhouse. Get out and see it on January 4th.
Looking forward to it. Want to thank all of our sponsors for allowing us to bring you this broadcast on TV 10, WRNR TV on YouTube, and Talk Radio WRNR. Also want to take this opportunity to thank Christopher Dodd, the athletic director here at Stafford High School, Eric Sterick and Alec Epperson back at the studio, John Alderton, our TV 10 cameraman. For my partner, Matt Miller, I am Matt Crawford, reminding you that our final today, it was Stafford 64, Martinsburg 63. We will be back in action on Saturday. This has been West Virginia High School basketball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
You've been listening to West Virginia High School basketball featuring the Martinsburg Bulldogs. Today's game has been brought to you by
Miller Honda of Winchester, MyMillerHonda.com. The Marius Group at Ameriprise Financial of Martinsburg, Parsons Ford, Smallwood and Small Insurance, your one-stop shop for all your personal and business insurance needs. Miller Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. The Berkeley County Health Department, Luttrell LC Real Estate Attorney, W. Harley Miller Systems, custom solutions for the home and office, and Carpet World, CarpetWorldofMartinsburg.com.
For the continued excitement of high school, college, and NBA basketball, keep it tuned to Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg. All rights reserved.